Think pea protein always causes IBS flare-ups. In this video, I'm going to be answering your most common questions about my gut health supplement Bloat Blocker, such as how this product works to relieve gas and bloating, what it can do for people with SIBO, what results you can really expect, and then perhaps most surprisingly, why the pea protein in Bloat Blocker works for bloating and IBS issues instead of causing them. What's up and welcome to the video. I'm Dr. Daniel Ricciardi, gut health expert, licensed pharmacist, fitness enthusiast, creator of SIBO Shortcut, and this gut health supplement Bloat Blocker. If you have any comments or questions as you're watching this, please leave them down in the comments section below and I'll give you the best answer I can. All right, let's get right to the questions. I had to do this one first. Somebody writes, pea protein, since I have IBS, causes me to be very bloated. And then somebody else writes, one of the two ingredients in your product to reduce gas and bloating shouldn't cause what you're trying to treat. Pea protein actually often causes gas and bloating. I'm glad somebody mentioned this because there's two things I want to point out right away. The first being quantity and the second being the type of pea protein and purity. So if you look right here, we have the amount of pea protein that is common that you would take in a dose of pea protein, which is about 20 grams. And then right underneath it, we have the amount of pea protein that is found in a dose of Bloat Blocker. So as you can see with these AI assisted quantity piles of pea protein, we're talking about a very minuscule amount of pea protein in the dose. It's essentially like comparing a full cup of peas that you're going to be consuming to one single tiny pea. So having this very tiny quantity, so unless you have a known allergy to pea, this is not going to be an issue. And then the second reason is the type of pea protein that I've sourced for this product. As somebody who's dealt with 10 years of SIBO, IBS symptoms, constant bloating and gas, I do not want to set you up with a form of pea protein that is going to give you issues. People with IBS already have enough problems. I certainly don't want to cause more for you. So when sourcing this pea protein, I found the most purified form of pea protein isolate that had as many of the FODMAPs removed as possible. A lot of pea proteins, they're actually about 40% FODMAPs where they have all the fibers still left in. This one you're looking at more like 95% FODMAP free. This is the best one you're possibly going to find in terms of purity and the amount of fiber removed. All right, on to the next question. But what about the bacteria from SIBO? How does it get rid of that without being an antibiotic? I mentioned the FODMAP free pea protein isolate. The other ingredient is tamarind seed xyloglucan. Xyloglucan is a special type of starch found in tamarind seed. And when used with the pea protein, they have what's known as a mucoprotectant effect on the lining, on the mucus lining of the small intestine. This means it's forming a film, some sort of layer over this mucus lining, making it harder for bacteria to live there. And these ingredients also form what is known as a biofilm, which if you think about SIBO, the term biofilm is typically a really bad term. It means the bacteria are living there. This particular type of biofilm is actually a good one. So if by using these ingredients, this biofilm gets formed, it takes up space on the small intestine lining and makes it harder for other bacteria to form biofilms. And by this mechanism of action, this is likely why if you look at hydrogen SIBO after using 20 days of the ingredients in Bloat Blocker, the amount of gas on a lactulose breath test was noticeably reduced, which indicates an improvement in SIBO. All right, next up, but in addition to preventing bloating and allowing us to eat gluten and dairy products again, this product repairs the intestinal lining, meaning it allows the body to produce mucus again to repair damaged tissue throughout the intestinal lining, and or does it only protect the intestinal lining, which is already wonderful. So to address this kind of one by one, it does help with repairing the intestinal lining through the actions I just mentioned on the mucus layer. It's not really helping the body form mucus again. This happens through the other body processes and certain foods that you eat, but it is protecting that mucus layer from damage and for bacteria from sticking to it, staying there, forming biofilms and overgrowing. So I'd say to answer this, it's more mainly for protecting the intestinal lining. Is this safe or even helpful for active SIBO? In the one study that really looked at the numbers with SIBO, there was a noticeable decrease, as I mentioned a little previously, with hydrogen dominant SIBO. There have not been any studies directly looking at this ingredient specifically for methane or hydrogen sulfide SIBO, but due to these ingredients forming the protective biofilms, it would seem plausible that it would help with other types of SIBO because it's making for a much tougher environment for these bad bacteria to form biofilms and live in the small intestine. Does this help with chronic constipation and diarrhea? Having something that does both of these sounds a little bit counterintuitive. Most supplements, it's either going to help you go to the bathroom or stop you from going to the bathroom. Because this is focusing on healing the intestinal lining and protecting it and preventing bacteria from growing there, you're going to get less inflammation on the intestinal lining. And depending on who you are, more inflammation on the intestinal lining and more bacteria or microbes living there could mean faster stools passing through, or it could mean slower stools when you're having more constipation. This is why when looking at research research studies, it seems to perform well both for patients with constipation and for those with loose stools. Can this be taken with betaine, HCl, and pepsin? I have to take it for low stomach acid. I'm not aware of any specific drug interactions or supplement interactions with using Bloat Blocker, so I would say go for it if you're using this supplement. Does this address migrating motor complex issues? Bloat Blocker and the ingredients do not address migrating motor complex issues. While it can help with SIBO through the other mechanisms I mentioned, such as making it tougher for bacteria to live there, it doesn't have any direct effect that I know of in terms of the muscles and nerves in the small intestine that control the migrating motor complex. So if you are somebody with SIBO or trying to prevent SIBO recurrence, using a prokinetic or things that boost gut motility, I would still include them in your regimen. How long does it take to see results? I've had a lot of people try it and had immediate results day one. Other people, after a few days, they'll notice a difference. Others, after a few weeks. The symptom that it may take the longest to show an improvement with is constipation. The research study that looked at this showed that after 30 days of continuous use, patients were noticing good benefits from it. This question, so for low transit people, have to take 2 capsules with each meal, not 1. How many capsules do we have to take with each meal? Regardless of how often you're passing your bowels, I'd recommend doing 1 capsule twice daily. Can this help with methane SIBO? There have not been any formal research studies done on methane SIBO and showing that it definitely helps with eliminating the overgrowth. It has shown to help with constipation, which is a big reason people have symptoms with methane SIBO. Perhaps I'm a little bit biased, but I would assume if research studies were done, at a bare minimum, the results would be somewhat favorable. What else does it work for? So in the research studies, they mainly have been looking at IBS type symptoms: bloating, farting, abdominal distension, abdominal discomfort, and loose stools. Because it does help target leaky gut and prevent and heal leaky gut, other positive effects can be noted from it. But in terms of the research, the IBS symptoms are the main things that have been studied. I was wondering if you need to cycle this so the body won't get used to it, or can I take it regularly? If so, how to cycle this and when's the best time to take it? Before food, immediately before eating, 15 minutes before, and then should I take this on a completely empty stomach, and is it okay with other supplements? This is not necessary to cycle off. It's not a supplement that your body's going to get dependent to if you stop it. Best time to take it, I'd say immediately before eating with meal or immediately right after, sometime around mealtime. And I haven't found any supplements yet that you need to avoid taking them while you're taking Bloat Blocker. That is all for today. Hope this video was useful, answered some questions. If you have additional questions on Bloat Blocker, leave them down in the comments below and I'll get to them. If you want to try it out, currently a sale going on, at least at the time I published this video, code WELCOME30 for 30% off your first order. Try it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.